Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic / DC University podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Canton III, and we are continuing our coverage of Season 2 of Peacemaker, Episode 6. We have gotten to the chicken, folks, and we will be getting to the chicken in our discussion this evening. But I also want to mention there's also good chicken in the MC University Patreon, patreon.com/MC University Pod, where you can get our bonus content. We do subscriber mailbags once a month. We still have the Batman 1989 that's upcoming soon. Actually, me and Jake got to talk about that. We're gonna get to that shortly, very shortly, and a bunch of other things. We did the Long Walk. We did a 20-minute review of that earlier this month. You could get all that. Our Discord, $3. We have wonderful conversations spanning from everything from MCU stuff. We talked a little bit about Marvel Zombies. We talked about that. We have a channel there. And Peacemaker, wrestling, the whole 9 yards, anything that you can want. Appreciate
a little one battle after another talk, a little OBAA.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. That's a big one that's out right now. So we have fun discussions in there, and you can get all of that for $3. And then, of course, if you're watching, please like, comment, and subscribe. With all of that said, let me introduce the panel. First, the super producer, Jake Christie. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing okay. You can see me if you're watching Video Glimpse over to the side a bunch because I'm watching the Jets both because I'm a Jets fan and also because there's the 2 Monday night games this tonight, and it's basically a situation where I need Garrett Wilson to outscore Jamar Chase by 2 points in fantasy, and I don't like that. I don't like my odds, so I'm a little worried.
Especially not with the way the game's going, with the Jets virtually running on every play.
He just got his first catch. I'm not feeling good.
So it's not great as far as that's concerned. The Jets are a whole nother story that I don't want to get into right now. But we have 2 friends, we have 2 pals who've been with us for this Peacemaker run. First, we leave the key under the mat for this gentleman. His name is Rod Morrow, a.k.a. the black guy who tips. Rod, how you doing, sir?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. And at least your coach has the best sideline celebrations. And
hey, unironically, I love that. If they're like 5-12 next year, then come back and check on me in that. But I don't mind that.
No, hey. I love it. I'm not even being joking.
Okay, I thought you were being facetious.
You have to remember, I'm a Panthers fan.
That's true.
Yes,
I kill if Dave Canales would hop on the sideline and do the Macarena one day, I might give him an extra 5 games. Go ahead, keep coaching.
Listen, it's one thing to have a losing coach, but you can't have a swaggerless coach. So exactly. Aaron Glenn at least got that.
I'm looking up to y'all. I'm not looking down. I'm looking up to y'all.
Oh my goodness. And also we have our pal, the Twitter extraordinaire, Teej. Teej, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm very excited to talk about this episode. I'm kind of still coming down from the high of one battle after another. I'm gonna go see it again tomorrow night, and it's
whenever we do the Batman is the night that we do that is the other night I'm going to see it again.
Nice. I haven't seen it yet. I will see it this weekend. Kids permitting, I will see it this weekend.
Just go there, AC, have a few small beers, enjoy the movie.
Okay, all right. So it's that type of time. All right, I'm with it.
No, that's a reference to the movie.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to finding out what that is about. But before we start, I gotta ask Teej, as always. We do the segment. Better call Teej. Gotta ask Teej
what this one was about. Oh no,
what Teej was going on. Teej, so yesterday, it's funny. I had been waiting to see what kind of wild thing that you would say that would occur, but in fact, it had nothing to do with you this time. It was something that you noticed, and you were referring to Candace Owens' thirst tweets. What happened? How did you come upon this? What is going on?
Someone retweeted on my timeline. Basically, there was some random short video of Candace Owens rolling her head around in a weird talking motion, and people thought that it was sexy. And it was a lot of very weird comments over there. Very weird. I did not know that Candace Owens thirst was the thing especially amongst young black men, but apparently it is. I don't subscribe. I don't condone. I do not thirst after Candace Owens. She has reprehensible opinions. But not just that, I just generally don't find her very attractive, so I don't get it. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just too old for this. I just don't understand it. I thought she was
No,
I thought her
don't think this
boob.
has anything.
She's grieving her boob. I won't say any more on that, but I don't really understand where this is all coming from, folks. I don't get it.
Oh Jesus!
some people just. I think there's something about people. Some people get off on someone who hates them and everything they stand for. I think it's a weird psychosexual thing going on with those people. You don't have to be ashamed.
That's true. We need the next PTA movie needs to be about people who hate fuck. That's where the next PTA film needs to exist.
See, the thing is, I feel like he could make that movie when he was 27. I don't know if Weed Dad PTA is making that movie.
I also feel it feels weird to be like you could have sex with another black person and it be race play, but it would.
Yeah, maybe she's a unicorn that way. Like if you really love race play, she's a one.
It would be race play to have intraracial sex with Candace Owens is race play. That's crazy. You don't want to live a life like that.
Like that episode. Transracial.
Yeah,
that's one of the most insane things. Oh my goodness gracious, that's a high watermark for the pod.
I just don't understand the psychology of hate fucking. I just don't. It's just not my bag.
I'm not into it either.
Not my bag. So I don't
it was my birthday, and I was saying to my wife, like, even birthday sex, I don't like it as a concept. Because we both enjoying the sex. This like if you got me a birthday gift, but you ain't had. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like I prefer to just call it regular sex, like it's supposed to be. Let's not act like this is a favor.
So you're saying that
Jeremiah was wrong.
Giving birthday sex is like in those 70s and 80s sitcoms where he would buy the gift of like a vacuum cleaner for the house, or like, like her birthday gift is like a vacuum cleaner, like happy birthday.
Yeah, I look down there and you enjoying it too. That's like what
this
what
my
what
birthday
do that
I'm gonna need a little extra. I'm just saying, man. Come on.
So I definitely don't believe in hate sex. I definitely don't want someone I hate to feel good. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
What about birthday hand job like Breaking Bad? I feel like
that's
more
of a gift. If we're being honest, that's more of a gift.
That's altruism in a real great form.
We're just gonna keep it 100. It's not that I need that in that spirit. I'll prefer the sex, but if you're gonna call it a gift, then I know you're cheating. That's a lie. You're not giving me anything.
That's one of my favorite pieces of writing. Of like, we're writing a show about a guy who's going to become the biggest piece of shit in TV history, but we can make all the men and dude bros watching this show feel bad for him by just like having his life be like awful, and that includes like getting a hand job for your birthday. And I thought Walt was ungrateful because I would love a good birthday hand job on any of his birthdays. So I thought he was being ungrateful personally.
His wife is heavily pregnant, and like,
right.
Hey man. Hey man.
Well, being a grown up is realizing like Walter White, you're really a piece of shit. Like obviously he's a piece of shit, but he's really a piece of shit.
He's not. Yeah.
I'll say this quickly. Like, I was behind on Breaking Bad. I had never watched it, and then they did that thing where they showed the first half of the last season. They took a break. So I binged it all.
That's when I did it too.
Okay, and I caught up right as the finale was about to air. Like I watched the penultimate episode the week before the finale. Yeah. And I would live tweet the whole thing. And because I watched it so fast, I never was on his side. Cause I could just I didn't need to wait a week. I could just go to the next episode. I was like, yo, this dude could have been rich and not a science teacher and cured of cancer. This motherfucker gave that up in like week 1. Who's on this side?
I had the hazard of being a 16-year-old white boy when I was watching it, and so I definitely was like, "Oh, Skyler's such a nag," and that's we all have things that we need to grow and change from. You know what I mean? Much like Peacemaker, we have to grow and change.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes. And like Jake mentioned, Peacemaker certainly happened, and Peacemaker's going through some growth and some changes. As we are in the episode where it seems like, man, I tell you what, 35 minutes time of this episode, so much shit happened. It was just like the efficiency levels are insane in this show. We got to everything that we needed to get to, and we are left with a great cliffhanger for next week. So I'll just start with this because this is something that we've been talking about since we started to get wind of it, and Jake obviously mentioned it first, with the other dimension being full of that racism. And what we found out, poor Adebayo, please God, somebody save her as we get into next week. She is running from the Klan, like the Klan. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys. A lot's going on. Rod, I'll start with you. What did you think of not only that, but how this episode was constructed? Because I thought it was constructed very well.
I appreciated the angle that had her running towards the camera like that. The things was thanging and everything.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, like I was like, I see you, James Gunn. He every week, don't miss. Really don't miss. Underrated. But yeah, I mean, it was a reveal that we were all waiting for, but I actually thought it was interesting when they chose to do the reveal in the last minute of the show. Because for us super nerds, we're all like, when it went, okay, so does it happen as soon as they walk in? Like everyone starts seeing like all this, all these signs. And they just kind of tapped on it a little bit. Like Hardcore, I think Hardcore says, there's no people of color or something like that. And I was like, oh shit, they're doing it. But yeah, so I think the timing is more interesting than the reveal. And then the idea that black and brown people must exist there because they all are like one got out. Like they're not like, whoa, we've never seen a black person. They're like, she's supposed to be locked up somewhere, and that's when I'm like,
one got out.
One got out is crazy. And everyone doing citizen arrest. Like it wasn't even one got out, call the authorities. If you see a loose dog, you don't get 20 people and start chasing it. You be like, call the dog people. They was gonna get her. And so I now want to know how far does James Gunn go with, like, do we even observe or see the answer to the question of where are they putting these people and what are their conditions in, and do our people try to free those people? Like how far does this concept go? Is it just the whole thing is just get back to regular Earth and we just move on?
Well, I thought something that was interesting was one of the last lines from Hardcore to Chris was like, "This is the perfect world you wanted," and it's like, "Yo, this now puts Chris into front and center for these last two in terms of like reckoning with what he's dealing, because it's his brother, it's his pops. They at the forefront of this, so now he's got to address this again, and that's why." I always felt like the end of season one, him being haunted by his pops, was so perfect in bringing that story back around the forefront, because he has to face it. This is something that he's going to have to get through in order to move on, not only as a character, human being, all that stuff, so he can grow. He's stuck in this kind of like remedial, I need things perfect, I need this to be this way because of all of this trauma that he's experienced. But now he's faced with something real serious, and his best buddy is in real big ass trouble. So he needs to act. Teej, I'll ask you, based off of everything that Rod said, like, how did you feel about not only the reveal, but if there is anything generally that stood out to you about this episode from not only that standpoint, but anything else that you want to talk about? Because I kind of want to go around, because there's a lot of shit that happened.
I thought it was a phenomenal episode. I couldn't help but thinking, like, what is the messaging that James Gunn is trying to send us? And the reason I started thinking about that is because of some James Gunn comments we got this week about Superman. So basically, he basically tried to quote unquote clarify that the Superman kind of setup of the nation that was trying to invade the smaller, weaker nation was not about Israel Palestine. And
right.
Like he was basically trying to tell people, first of all, and he was like, yeah, like we wrote this years ago. Well, first of all, this conflict has been going on for like literally 100 years, so don't necessarily buy that. But obviously, I don't think he was trying to make a direct allusion to it. I think he was more talking about these kind of situations, and there are numerous examples that you can fit into that box of big nation is trying to wipe out small nation or take something from small nation. But obviously, the messaging was clear in Superman. I think it's very clear in this season of Peacemaker. The messaging here is that if you're a white male who happens to be struggling for whatever the reasons may be, you might think, and maybe you're being told or sold, the fact that your solace lies in the fact that you should be in a space with only people that are like you. And when Hardcore poses that question to him, And literally in the middle of this very like tense scene, scary scene where you're realizing the predicament that Adebayo is in and that her life is quite literally in danger. In the middle of that, we hit with a line that probably plays as a joke to most people. She says, this is your utopia. This is the place that you want to be. And he's got a sheepish look on his face, and it's supposed to hit like a joke, but it's not a joke at all. It's like he's showing people like there are people in our real world that really exist. That's not a comic book movie, that think that their utopia lies in the fact that they can go to a place where there are certain people don't exist, whatever those people might be. And so what really struck with me is the fact that this is an incredibly funny episode of television. It's incredibly potent, like poignant episode of television, but it also is like a very good plot-driven episode of television. And to be able to do all three of those things in one episode of television, there were people saying that this is probably the best episode of Peacemaker ever. I saw people saying that before I saw the episode because I had to wait a day, but I totally understand where that comes from. And there are so many good episodes of Peacemaker. I really love some of the stuff in season one, but I definitely agree with that take just because of how layered this episode has to be. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal, and just the way that like being able to do all that stuff at once to me was just like mind blowing. But that is the peak of James Gunn. We've seen him be able to do this stuff before. Guardians 3 is an incredibly emotional movie with some very big ideas. It's also incredibly funny. The action sequences are also fucking awesome. And this is what you get when you have somebody like James Gunn running your universe. You get shit like this, and I could not be happier with the outcome of that episode, and I can't wait to see where we're going.
Couldn't agree with you more on that front. I think the one thing I'll say before I throw it to Jake, as far as like when we talk about like best episodes and stuff like that, it is such a very tricky thing that he had to do here to not only get over this Earth X thing, get the cameo in that we'll get to a little bit later, and all of that, mix it and coalesce in a way where it did not feel like too much. It felt like it flowed properly, and I think that was just a incredible job by Gunn and everybody involved, because I think it takes a whole team to do something like that.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure, go ahead.
Having that reveal in this episode specifically shows you how fucking confident he is in how this season is going to end. Because you could easily have put that in episode 5 or put that in episode 7 and have that be the big talking point. This talking point is obviously the big reveal, and everybody we could be talking about next week or the week before is talking about the fact that, oh shit, now we've had someone from Superman show up in this TV show that we're watching. Putting those two in the same 35-minute episode, one is like AC said, there's so much going on in this episode, but also that just means that he's got other big jokers in his hand for the last 2 episodes. That's fucking exciting as hell. That's so exciting.
This is also like the fact that he kept these last 3 episodes from even the press. And I felt the same way. Right. And I felt the same way about the Watchmen HBO show. This is you can do these stories. Don't tell anyone. Like, just don't tell them. Just do it. Like, because that's where B&B fucked up with the whole like we got a plan. It's gonna be Confederate. No, because no one thinks they want to see it until they see it, and they're like, no, this is not only what I want to see. The world need to see this shit. The world need to see what the fuck we're facing right now, and that is like we can watch it through this show and learn a lesson, but still. If he pitched this, if he was at Comic-Con last year being like season 2, we're going to Earth X, you get a lot of people, our liberal people as well, being like, oh no, not Nazis. Aren't we sick of this? We don't need, but when you do it like this and just go, bam, this is my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm not making any excuses. I'm not going to defend it. This is what I have to say. I think it hits better. And I'm glad that he did that.
Couldn't agree with you more. Go ahead, Jake. What you got?
So I think a big thing going into this episode I was wondering about is everyone who's online knows what the twist is going to be in some way, shape, or form, right? And I even saw an interview with James Gunn where he said that he knew that people online knew what the twist was going to be. And I think that it really goes to the strength of James Gunn's storytelling that, like, he knows, as I think any good storyteller knows, is that, like, the value of a twist is not merely the shock that the audience has, right? That, like, the reason why this twist still works, even though we know what's going to happen, is because it is the characters that react to it. And they're put in situations, like, they're put in situations where we're interested in seeing how they react to this twist, how does they react to this information. And I think what the ending of it is, what makes it such a perverse sequence, is that James Gunn, I think, has really shown by Guardians 3 as well, is gotten really exceptional at intercutting storytelling. That the thing that's so really great about these moments is that we're getting all this information piecemeal through different conversations, right?
Yeah.
Like, the only one we're not really getting information from is Economos, but like, we learn that in this universe, Vigilante hates Peacemaker. We learn that in this universe, and then and that we see Adebayo on a run, and then we see the Nazi flag. It's like we get all that information as it's doled out, so like it informs each new thing we cut to in a way that like adds tension to it. Which you would not have at all if it was played straight, right? Like, if we just saw one of these sequences and then another one of these sequences, it would be way more boring. But like, there's just, as the characters are learning more and more. I don't know about you, but I was just, even though I know what the reveal is going to be, I was getting more tense and more tense of like, oh my god, when are they going to reveal it? When are they going to reveal it? When are they going to reveal it? And I don't know, I always just love the fact, I think that it is on the nose, but the line of like, this is your perfect universe or whatever, what Hardcore says, is like, I think is a great point, because it is kind of like, you know, I don't think that James Gunn's trying to argue that most people would want to live in a Nazi universe. Like, I don't think that we're at that place yet in our world. Like, I think most people are not Nazis still. But I think that the point he's trying to drill down on is like, we are all way more capable of turning our blinders on and not noticing bad things in our periphery than we think we are, right? Like, I'm not saying that James Gunn made the DC Universe version of the Zone of Interest, but I think that like he clearly is trying to demonstrate that, like, yes, it is partially that Peacemaker is probably not as, in tune with being sensitive to other cultures as other people might be. But the reason he didn't notice that there were no people of color is because he was entranced by how happy he was to be with his dad and his brother. Like, that's why. It's not because he's uniquely like racist or something. And it's this universe was providing him something that allowed him to not want to see all the bad things, despite the fact that he should, because you know what happens in this universe, which doesn't happen, because there's so many people being like, so many like, neo-Nazis on the internet being like, oh, but we're thinking it's so bad that it's a nice clean universe. It's like, motherfucker, in episode 3 we see someone get blown up in the middle of a park and someone tries to blow up the DMV. Say what you will about our universe, in the universe that Peacemaker normally takes place in. People aren't getting fucking blown up at municipal buildings. Like, that's just not that he has to ignore that.
Was the person that said that to you, was that Ezra Klein?
It was not. No, it was not someone who said it to me. But yes, I think that he just wanted to say that the blue wizard. He's what's the name of Augie's character? That Augie Smith. He did politics the right way. Anyway, that
we should at least debate keeping black people in pens. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. But I think that I think what I want to bring that up for is just like, even outside of the no people of color, Chris is already ignoring a gigantic red flag. Like, why does he have no follow-up questions on why a group of terrorists are trying to blow up the DMV? Yeah. He should have questions. And the fact that he doesn't says a lot about him. And I think that it says a lot about him. And on top of that, when we learn it's a Nazi universe. But I think more than anything, that's like a fun thing to play with and to do, social commentary about. But I think that Chris would have not noticed any problem with this universe, really. Like, I don't think it's specific to that.
That's why I think the episode being titled "Ignorance is Chris" is just a great touch.
Yeah, this is good.
And I think we can go to like even further get into his own ignorance, because I feel like even as in some ways I understand his feelings with Harcourt and having that conversation that they had, which was very emotionally charged and stuff like that. I thought James Gunn said something very interesting regarding that. I think he posted a video. I can't remember if it was today or yesterday, but it was in the sense where he was talking about like when with agents and superheroes and stuff like that, things are always like emotionally charged. It's hard to have conversations like that when you're dealing with a lot of crazy shit that's going on the outside. So I get that Chris feels like shunned in some type of way. But this is also kind of like that learning him in his own way, learning how to be a superhero, because it seems like he wants to be good. It seems like he does want to do good. but there are these parts of him that still remain, and part of that is the trauma and getting through that. And then when you deal with another person who has trauma themselves, when you got hardcore pouring her, this is as much emotion as you're gonna get out of her. Where she says that, like, yo, I go to bar, I start bar fights because this is the only way I can feel something. That's crazy, man. That's some crazy ass shit. So the fact that we are there with them, and Chris, because he's worried about his wants, his desires, his feelings, all of that only matters. He can't see all the other shit that's going on all around him, and especially ignoring the fact that his friends wanted him to stay. That the fact that he ignored everything that Adebayo said to him in the previous episode, talking about like, "Hey, you belong here. You should be here." All that other stuff. This is where we get to the character of Christopher Smith and him needing. This is what these 2 episodes to me have to accomplish before you get into all the other connection to this and all this other stuff. We need Christopher Smith to get over his shit and get to a point where it's like, okay, I went through this stuff, sure, but it's time for me to man up and deal with everything that's that's coming my way, and also save my friends, and also learn to deal with these things a little bit better as opposed to what he did. Because now, in a way, he's put all of his friends in danger because they're coming to go save him, and and we could get into the other characters, but I found while the conversation itself was a great scene, really enjoyed it. I thought it shined a light on Chris's ignorance overall to everything that's going on, and I thought that was great. I would be remiss because while we have a lot of other things to get to, I gotta say, Freddie Stroma this episode, man, he was knocking it out the park. What I really enjoyed, Vigilante, Hardcore, Economos, and Adebayo in his little. First, you get the scene with the mom. And that shit was hilarious.
That's the thing that's always funny to me. I think always funny to me is Guy is really mean to his mom, and his mom doesn't seem fazed by it at all. Like, that's always funny to me.
It's so great.
And doesn't seem like a bad person.
No, she seems like a sweetheart. She's like, oh,
yeah, I love that part of the trope too. Like he's like she's the worst, and everybody's like, your mom seems like a fucking sweetheart.
The fact that he lied to his mom about Hardcore being his girlfriend and call her a slut and all that other stuff, and then on top of that, once they get into his little playroom and whatnot, he got a whole bunch of money. Where Adebayo says, "I paid for your lunch."
These niggas working fries at a diner with a GDP of like Panama in his fucking basement.
I would have taken that money too. Goddamn, look at all that shit. Oh my god. Oh, that was,
like, but it's blood money, duh, or whatever. It's like, whoa. Also, I like that he's so maladjusted that it doesn't really phase our guys. Like the people in the other street kids are like, that's Vigilante being Vigilante. Like they're always roasting him, but they're never like, this guy's crazy. We got to get him out the group. It's always like, of course you would not spend blood money and would do. Of course, you fucking idiot. Of course you told your mom that I'm your girl. Like, it was more like they were more like annoyed than they were like genuinely upset.
Yes, and then his own obsession of looking for himself in the other universe. That was funny too, because everybody was trying, let's stay together, and then everybody just goes off doing their own shit. That was funny too. Teej, let me ask you, as far as did you enjoy the vigilante interplay?
I did. I love Vigilante. I think he's just an incredibly hilarious character. And the whole thing with, like, you knew it was like, as soon as things got weird, when Harcourt starts talking to the mom and he's immediately trying to get the mom to like go off, like, stop, please stop. I knew it was like, oh, he told his mom, like, I already knew, like, oh, he told his mom that he was hooking up with Harcourt. And so to see that kind of play out, and she plays it so deadpan, and like in front of the mom, she plays it so like, oh, well, like, it's just incredibly well done. And putting him in awkward situations is always going to be hilarious. And he's just, what an incredible performance. I'm glad we got a lot of him in this episode.
Yes,
Also,
yeah.
he was that joke of him talking to him was it kind of became the more cowbell thing for me. Like it went from like, oh yeah, that's funny to like, oh god, they're doing this a long time. I don't like they might need to kill this bit. Like, how long are they gonna? And then by the end, I was all the way back to like crying, laughing at them doing animal facts and other bullshit. And can you pee while something touches your butt? Now I'm like, no, it's funny again. I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking before.
And Jake, let me ask you if you did the whole idea that alternate vigilante hates Peacemaker. We feel like we're gonna get a showdown between those
Yes,
two. That's I'm looking
I
forward.
do. I think the thing about that is I like that decision to make that the thing that's different with him, because in reality, it's not a thing that's different with him at all. It's just that like if Peacemaker is actually upholding this neo-Nazi America, then the vigilante we know in our universe would hate him too.
Yeah.
Like I like that, it's like it's not the vigilante's different, it's the Peacemaker's different, right? That and I think that it's just a thing I'm so fascinated in seeing, because it is such a fun. I like how like it is such whiplash, because it is such a fun bit where they keep going
Yeah.
back and forth and talk about how similar they are. And I thought the Freddie Stromer really killed it. I mean, the bit of him coming into the house and noticing all the things that are a little bit different. I mean, the fact that they got General Mills to let them use Cheerios was great.
Yes.
I wonder if they told him that it was in an alternate Nazi America.
Whoops.
Or the bit I really love is, and this didn't immediately pop out to me until people pointed out that when he sees his dad on the couch, he's like,
Yeah.
my dad's not gay in this universe. And what a lot of people on the internet pointed out, which I'm like, duh, it's like, no, it's a neo-Nazi America.
Yeah,
He
like
can't
of
be
course
gay.
he's not
Yeah.
gay.
Right.
Yes.
I got a question.
And
Oh, go ahead. Go finish. Sorry.
no. I was just gonna ramble a little more.
So, who's our villain? Are we heading for a face-off with Chris between his brother and dad?
Oh yeah, he's gonna
I
have to.
think so.
Yeah, he's gonna
I
have to.
thought
He's gonna have to.
I thought I was gonna credit you. I thought you said that in this universe he may end up having to kill his brother
Yeah.
again.
You're gonna have to
And I
kill
was
them
like,
again.
I looking at the way this chessboard is lining up, I'm like, he might have
think
to kill
that's
his
what's
brother
happening.
and his dad again.
That's gonna be fucking heartbreaking, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are leaving. There's 100% chance if that happens that we are leaving this season with Chris an even more broken person than he is like
Yes.
in coming to this universe. That is insane, man.
I mean, AC didn't say we were getting to the chicken by accident. I mean,
They got you to. That's the thing. They got you to care, and I'm telling you, I can't say this enough. The end of season 1 is so important to what this is now, because this is a big deal for him. You saw how emotional Chris was in episode 1 of the season when he sees them again, and when they're cool with him, he's smiling, taking pictures like everything is peaches and cream. It's like, yo, no, it's not. You're gonna have to get through this.
The fact that they haven't revealed any other heroes in this universe
Yep.
Yeah.
feels like them the ones he gotta kill. Like, cause like if they would have had like a Superman, then you're like, oh no, then he'll be killing. They gotta find a way to kill the Superman in this world. Like so far, the top trio been like it. So like the bosses of the Nazi world are your family, bro. Like y'all, I don't think you can wrap this one up with him just with. I don't think the audience will accept wrapping this up with they just escape back to their regular Earth, close the door, and then we just go, all right, well, cool. They're still good people.
no, and that's also not. James Gunn is not going to put Nazis on the board and then not give them a brutal death. Like some people are going to get. I have no concrete predictions for episode 7 and 8, except some motherfuckers are going to get dismembered on my television. That's what's going to happen for sure.
Because you also got to remember this part, Teej. Remember, the other Peacemaker got killed, so there's gonna be some retribution.
Yeah, because they're going to hate him too.
Yeah, they're going to hate him once they realize what has happened.
Right.
Yes.
It's kind of, you know what, the only thing, like, obviously I would love to be right about my early season prediction, even though it would be horrifying to watch, but, like, it's kind of not what James Gunn does, like, to end something, right? The end of season 1 is incredibly upbeat and hopeful for the fact that we've reached Peacemaker at this place now where he's so low is actually like not a departure. It makes perfect sense, but like it is a total difference than when we left him at the end of season 1, which was incredibly upbeat.
Right.
We got this whole gang together. They just saved the fucking world, and things aren't perfect, but like they are up on a high. They things are going well. They found their found family, and
with
they
the
saved the world.
exception of him, with the exception of him though, because even with everything going on, and even with them getting seemingly on the same page, that very last shot of season 1 is of him sitting right outside his trailer with his pops there, his dead pops there, standing right next to him. So that trauma still was there.
Right.
So he killed his pops. He killed his brother and he killed his pops. And you gotta have to do that shit again.
That's insane, man. We are
that is a James Gunn ism too, because when he does go dark, it's so dark. Yeah. Like I still remember that fucking
This man made Brightburn. Like, yo, come on.
Hey man, I cried in Guardians 3 when they did Rocky's backstory. I said this motherfucker got me crying over a goddamn CGI raccoon. This man is evil. You know, we came here for a send off to these quirky motherfuckers, and I am in here sobbing. So I don't know. I'm afraid of what he's gonna do with this Peacemaker finale.
Yeah, and I do think, like, off of that, you know, as you mentioned, people mentioning other heroes, perhaps, and stuff like that. This is now where we can get into what Rick Flag Sr. is up to, because in this episode we get the cameo. We see Nicholas Hoult, aka Lex Luthor, and Flag is looking for something to get into the pocket dimension. First, let's talk about the Lex cameo. It was fun to see him again, and fun to see him so soon. I think that's great to have that brand synergy there.
I think a big thing, which I think is such a testament to how Superman worked, is that they played the music cue and you immediately knew what was going to happen. And it's like, you know how special it is when you can make a character known just by the music cue, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that was really special. I'm like, the moment I heard that, I thought, like, oh shit, like, I know that Lex Luthor's going to be here because I know the boom. Anyway.
Yes. No. But the funny thing, I was going to go to you, Jake. I was going to ask you, what did you think of not only the performance, but kind of what his potential story might set up here?
I mean, I liked it a lot. I thought it was really, you know, he was definitely darker and, like, clearly this is not the situation he wants to be in. He hates being in situations where he doesn't have the power, really. Like, there's a palpable frustration that you feel. His delivery is a lot more clipped, and, you know, he was not monologuing for, you know, his own pleasure as much. But I think that this is a really interesting a nice, like, peek into how he's gonna get back, whereas, like, clearly he has stuff to offer people, and you know, such as silencing your cell phone before you start doing the podcast.
The thing was, this thing happened on my computer.
So silence your computer before your podcast, but
god damn it, sorry.
It's fine. I'm gonna keep it into it's funny. I think that it is. I like the fact that he is in a position where he has to do a favor for someone else. But you just know it's Lex Luthor. It's not like Rick Flag thinks he's being real smart, and I just don't think that Rick Flag is going to like the way that this deal ends up going down for him. Like, I like the idea that, like, what he has to promise Lex is redemption, and that kind of, like, gives a light bulb moment to Lex of, like, he's not thinking about this specific deal. He's thinking 10 steps ahead of how he can parlay this relationship into being back, and I think that that's interesting. And the thing that was great about it, it was short. It actually was relevant to the plot, but we moved on. Like, it wasn't. Like, because the show is being made by the guy who runs the studio, he didn't have to pimp out the cameo and make it, like, a huge to-do. It's like, no, this is where it goes in the story, and this is where I'm going to put it in. So, yeah, the low-keyness of it, where it's like, yeah, of course, Lex Luthor is a supervillain in this universe. We would go to him. It's not a big to-do. Like, you know, there are only so many supervillains on the board. So I thought that was really cool that they immediately just were like, yeah, this is a character on the board, let's use him.
No, I couldn't agree with you more on that. And I think what I'm intrigued with is, does Flag realize who he got into a deal with? Because I feel like this is eventually going to lead to Lex escaping. Because this just seems like a deal that you should not make with somebody like Lex Luthor. And there's a there seems to be a desperation to Flag to getting to the other dimension and not only getting after Peacemaker, but actually figuring out what's going on. The problem with that being, you start to wonder if this other world and White Dragon and everybody else involved might want to start dimension hopping themselves. And this is where you could potentially see a little bit of crossover as far as that's concerned. Rod, what did you think of Lex Luthor's appearance, and then on top of that, potentially what that could mean in terms of Flag's machinations and everything that he's trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm less thinking of him escaping and more thinking of him somehow being let out.
Yeah,
that's
Just
where
because I
we're
think
going.
Absolutely.
he's that manipulative and smart and can arrange things in a way that makes it seem like, you know, he's on the up and up. And if James Gunn's next movie is Man of Tomorrow, where Luthor and Superman work together, I feel like this is setting all that up. Like, you know, I helped Rick Flag, I helped the government, they, you know, I helped them do whatever, get Peacemaker or shut down Earth X, whatever. And then I'm working with you against Brainiac or something. So I could see that working. I think the main things that stood out to me, I smiled a little bit when he was using the cane, because I remember when the dog threw his ass around.
Yeah, Crypto whipped his ass.
And he ain't got no superpowers. You know what I'm saying? That should hurt. And then I smiled and groaned when he started talking about the butt fucking happened in the cell next to him. Because I was like, feels beneath Luthor, but also feels like what he would say in a Peacemaker James Gunn show.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I don't
100%.
like he wouldn't have talked like that in that Superman movie, but maybe having his ass whooped and hearing, you know, Croc give it to somebody overnight, maybe that was did too much for him, especially as the Killer Croc from the first Suicide Squad.
Oh my
that
God.
was definitely wanted to watch some BET, because I think listening to 24/7 BET would drive Luthor crazy.
Hold on.
And anyway, if it's the R-rated James Gunn universe, do you think he retconned it to make it that he has a nude Africa account?
100%.
Man, him and Mark Robinson on the boards.
Oh man, how did we get a hashtag BTCU reference in here? Oh man.
I mean, the thing I noted on the Discord is, as someone who loves paying attention to the specifics of British actors doing American accents, you can just tell that hitting the consonants of butt fucking must have been so joyful for Nicole, because like that's one of those things that's such a butt fucking, like no other accent is saying it like that. And
dude, when I saw like a little thing where they were like praising saying his performance was darker and da 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 da, and all I could think was like, I can't believe he was able to deliver those lines as Luthor the same way as like he would deliver them in the PG-13 Superman movie. Because it's not like he broke character. He wasn't making a joke. It wasn't a punchline. Watching Lex Luthor describe some very graphic prison sex was not on my bingo card. I was like, I gasped a little bit when I was watching. I was like, oh. Man tried to destroy the whole universe, and I'm over here like, damn, he talk like that about them people?
Oh shit! And Teej, how about you? What did you feel about the Lex visuals, and what do you feel about like potentially what that could look like going forward?
I enjoyed it, obviously. One, like James Gunn's superpower is that he's a tone genius, and so putting him in an episode of Peacemaker and talking like a character on Peacemaker as opposed to talking like a character in Superman is just such a smart decision. That was my favorite part of the scene. I also had a pretty good laugh, and I thought it was perfect writing when he asked them, like, okay, what's Peacemaker's superpower? Like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's like, no, he doesn't have any superpowers. He's like, then why do you care about him? Like, what are you worried about? I've been focused on the biggest threat that I feel to our society, which is a literal god that literally rules from the skies. And you're talking to me about some fucking bum with a pistol. Who cares about him? He's beneath me. I just thought that was so Lex to have him. That'd be like, why are we even wasting my time talking about whoever this bum is? Do you not understand the threat that we are facing from above? And I just love that. I just thought that he's got such a good idea of the handle of what the tones are of these different properties. And I just hope that we're able to keep that. Part of the problem with the MCU is that you can't have something like that because there's so many things now that all the tones are just kind of, when people go get like a Slurpee and they put like 9 flavors in there, that's what the MCU is right now. It's very hard to distinguish what the tonal differences are between the movies and the TV shows because there's just so many of them. Whereas because we don't have that much DCU stuff, we could really be quirky and playing with the tones of what our IPs are, at least at the moment, until we become, other people start making stuff. But right now, it's only Gunn making the stuff, so he knows exactly what the tones are from the other stuff, and that's just a benefit to us as the viewer.
I'd also make the argument that with the MCU, I think the bigger issue as of late is they haven't tried to mesh the tones.
Yeah.
They've actually just kept everything separate. They haven't even made an attempt to do it.
But also, the tones are barely even distinct, too. Like, I think how out of tone is like the most unique. Like every MCU property is a little bit kind of the same. Like that's kind of the problem too. It's like they're different, but they're not different enough to be like interestingly different. Anyway,
there's also so many of them that because to me, I pick up on the tonal differences a lot, but I feel like a lot of times they leave you in limbo because we're doing 2 things at once. We're trying to keep characters the same throughout different stuff, and we're also trying to keep the tones different, and so you're ending up with like people rejecting certain, like Wanda Maximoff would not do that because the last time I saw her she did this, and that is kind of weird because the only place I found that they truly had a real outlet and it was a hit was the Deadpool Wolverine movie. That was a true like, let's take these like Johnny Storm wasn't talking like that. Now he's cussing. He's a fucking piece of shit. Wolverine's cussing and all this stuff. Like, but you could do it there because it kind of don't count. You know what I mean? But in this shit, it all counts. So it's like Lex here cusses because you're expecting cuss words when you watch Peacemaker. But I just don't think Marvel would not be like, and now Captain America is fucking cussing because this is a different, like that's like and to be honest, we probably wouldn't accept it. We would be like, that's fucking weird. Don't do that.
Yeah,
especially because the thing too is like the big advantage James Gunn has above all else is that like he's not just the head of the studio, he's a filmmaker, so like he knows how tone works. Whereas like it feels like there might be like the procedural decisions that are made in the MCU are kind of independent of tone, like that on the set and in the script there's a tone, but then once they make decisions afterwards there's no tone, whereas like James Gunn he knows how.
I think also we have to admit, we wouldn't handle it well. If Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if Don Cheadle saw fucking Sam and was like, "What's up, nigga?" we would have been like, "What the fuck is wrong with the Marvel?" It was like, well, it's black writers, it's a black show, it stars black people. That's how black people talk. We'd be like, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. That is not okay. But that might happen in DCU if they get a black director. We might get that because I think James Gunn, he different.
Because James Gunn felt a badge of honor having the first F-bomb in the MCU, and he's going to bestow the badge of honor.
He gonna be like, Ryan Coogler is directing Cyborg.
We gonna put Mr. Terrific.
It's gonna be Mr. Terrific, Cyborg. It's gonna be Martian Manhunter. They're gonna be like, you can't say it, but still.
Wait, I have a question. Is that a thing? Has the community weighed in on whether or not Martian Manhunter can say it?
If he say it, if he say it, they're gonna weigh in. I'm gonna tell you right now, the answer is no. That man is a green man in blackface. He better not fuck this up.
You better relax. That's for sure. Oh my goodness. Oh man. So I do have to say, poor Economos. He got caught by White Dragon. At the end there, got stabbed in the hand.
That was gnarly. He stabbed the shit out of his hand.
Yeah, he really did. And Economos immediately gave up all the goods. So now White Dragon knows that Peacemaker is not the Peacemaker of this world. So this is now that we have our setup for the final 2 episodes, boys.
That was such a cool way they shot that scene where you're around the corner with Economos, but all of a sudden, like in the corner of the screen, he realizes he's in there and like turns it like that. It's just
that shit was scary.
This show this vehicle should not be as cool as it is. There's just no reason why
That's
this
a
show
great
should be as
point.
good as it is. It just
You're right.
shouldn't.
Hey man,
But
Economos giving up everything was so funny too. He was like, "Why am I telling you all this extra shit?"
he said, "I'm speaking
He didn't
way
even ask
too much."
this. That was funny.
Oh my God.
Can we talk? Because I know we talked a little bit about it from Peacemaker's perspective. Can we talk about the conversation with Harcourt?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
From her perspective, because I think that like I'm very sensitive to, as someone who has long held that if I ever have a high-powered creative position, the first thing I do is I'm going to ask my brothers if they want to quit their jobs and work with me forever. You know, I'm very sensitive when James Gunn gets criticized for that, and I think that this scene like really showed like that Jennifer Holland has the goods in a way that I didn't know that she did.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I think
I
that
agree
like
with that.
because I think that she is. I love the when he says I love you and she says I know and he says I knew you knew, that like that how that all could be unspoken and how much she's holding in to not acknowledge that, because like she he's he's a clown of a character in some ways, but like it actually is significantly scarier for her to let someone in and love her than it is for him, because like he can't hide himself. He's who he is, warts and all. He's a clown and he knows that he's a clown. And she like the thing that scares her the most, and I think is such a beautiful sentiment and a thing that happens a lot in fiction, but I also think that it has its roots in reality, is like the worst possible thing that he can say to her after she like talks about how fucked up she is, about how she goes to bars and fights, is I still love you. Like she's like, and she's yelling at him basically like, these are all, please do not, like I do not, like I'm imploring you to not love me. And I think that is just like so tragic and shows like a real, I don't know, just like a real deep, a wound as deep as anything Peacemaker has, because like that is because it's a realistic one. It's not like I don't know what her history is, but I don't think that she accidentally killed her brother and had to kill her father, who was a white supremacist. But like that's like a real wound that real people have. That real people think that they're unworthy of love and they push people away because they don't think they're worthy of love. And I think that the fact that she clearly feels something for Peacemaker, or else she wouldn't be there. But like she can't. Peacemaker, I feel like, would go back with her if she said, I love you too.
Yes.
But she can't bring herself to do that. She can't because that's just opening up way too much vulnerability. And like that, I think that the thing that's unspoken in that scene is most interesting to me. That like he says I love you a bunch of times. She clearly like feels some sort of way around him. And I think you can even tell in the moment, like he is basically waiting on pins and needles, like, if you say I love you too, I will go back with you.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. And I think that's not out of malice. It's just she can't bring herself to do it in a way that I find really tragic.
Well, I appreciate her actually saying the words, I can't access my feelings like you can. And that was like, that level of honesty was pretty cool to see. So like her being able to tap into that vulnerability as an actor there, I thought was great. To your point, like that struggle, sometimes usually you'll get the emotional dump. But no, this was I'm still stunted. I still can't get all of this out. And I thought that was a real, I thought, yeah, you're completely right. And I'm glad you brought it back up, because she did a great job in terms of making that portion of it seem so hard. Because everything, and this has been leading, and again, this is what we talk about as far as being able to leave the breadcrumbs with these characters. So by the time you get to these bigger episodes, it's like, oh, this is what this really is, and this is what this actually is. And you've kind of known this entire time that this is her. And I would love to see, and Rod had mentioned it in a previous episode that we did, her and the other Harcourt getting a look at what that other version of her looks like, which I'm guessing that we'll get in this next episode or so, and kind of see what another version of her could or would be or should be, maybe, I don't know. But that is something that when Chris says like, I don't want to leave here because I don't want to run out on these people, I mean, she's not you, but I like her too, like all that stuff, like there's so much fucking going on in that whole conversation that that is just so incredibly emotionally charged, that leaves you, it did leave me wanting more and seeing where that ultimately will line up. So that's another thing in the last two episodes that kind of has to play out and see where that goes going forward. So I'm fascinated. I'm glad you brought it back up, Jake, for sure. For sure. And Rod, I don't know if you have anything to say about like this scene and how that played out in your opinion and how you felt about it.
Oh no, y'all nailed everything there is to say about it. Just amazing acting. The way it was shot was crazy. Like they really brought you into the scene, brought you into the room with them. And yeah, it was just very intense. And I mostly appreciate the writing because they didn't do the passive aggressive thing of talking around it or what. Like when she avoided saying "I love you" back, he calls it out. Like it's not.
Yes.
Like I think lesser writers try to make it more cryptic, and it was just like, no, these characters are very conscious of what's happening, and I like that.
Yes, and now, guys, we're set up. We have a great 2 episodes coming up. We have a movie that apparently this is going to lead to in Man of Tomorrow. We have a season of Peacemaker to finish. I want to get everybody's thoughts around the room. What are you most excited for in these last two? Teej, I'll start with you. What is the thing that you're looking forward to the most that intrigues you as we get into these last 2 episodes?
I feel like I'm seeing some stuff on the internet where the internet is finally realizing how fucking gorgeous Danielle Brooks is. I love that for the internet to come to this conclusion. What
Yes.
I'm most excited about is seeing Danielle Brooks safe and sound, because holy shit, what a precarious predicament that she's been placed in. And the way that she acts in the scene where she slowly puts the piece of information together and she's like having a dialogue with herself, like what is happening right now? Like, am I missing something? Like, the way that she acts in that scene, first of all, she's way overqualified, but like the way that she acts that scene is genuinely amazing. I'm most excited to see what her role is in episode 7, because I figure episode 8 is going to be big time on the Peacemaker versus his parents versus his trauma duel, versus his family versus his trauma. So I think the Danielle Brooks of it all, this is going to be the episode where it's her time to shine. I cannot wait to see her performance in episode 7. I cannot fucking wait.
It's very, very exciting stuff. Yeah, I just vigilante. Somebody go save her, man. That's all I want. Somebody go save her. Make sure she's safe and sound. We gotta make sure that she stays alive. Rod, how about you? What are you looking forward to in these next 2?
The trailer for the next episode does seem to show them returning to the room with all the doors. So, she was there. So I'm assuming they get back safe for the most part. But there are some tricks and things that I would like to see what happens, because like the vigilante thing could easily be resolved, or like one of them could get killed, or something. One of them could kill the other, but it could easily be resolved because that's not the Peacemaker the other one hates, and the Peacemaker that Peacemaker killed the Peacemaker that you do hate. So like this, and that Peacemaker, while still, and I think this is a key detail to remember, that Peacemaker was raised by a white supremacist. So the idea of him not necessarily noticing what was going on in that earth is very real. Like I could see him having been conditioned to not really think about that shit. But also he has rejected white supremacy. So like I need to see him reckon with, like, he killed them fucking Sons of Liberty and shit. Like he did do something on the wrong side there. He didn't just come there and be neutral. And I just wonder how you reckon with that as a character who's like, oh shit, I'm on the side of the people that are against this bullshit. So I want to see that. And then I think I'm mostly looking forward to whenever Kung Fu Master and Eagly enter the fucking fray.
Judo Master. Yes. That's right.
I mean Judo Master. I'm sorry, Judo Master and Eagly, because we still didn't get to catch up with Judo Master, and we just seen Eagly eating like some
they're
food.
They're gonna be on his ass too.
Judo Master gonna be getting it too. So I'm excited for that too. That's exciting.
Exactly, and Eagly fuck with he fuck with Bay. So I don't know that he gonna let them people just fuck her up either. She was feeding him them good bolognas and shit. So
I mean, some real good symbolism would be a bald eagle swooping in and taking out some Nazis.
That would be some real. We're getting that 100%.
Yeah. And then Joel Kinnaman, does he
Mhm.
return? Do we see that character again? Does
Oh,
his
yeah.
dad see him? I'm still
Mhm.
interested in like what happens to Rick
So
Flag,
great point. Yeah.
and the Rick Flag of it all, and how Luthor plays into it. And the last thing is, it's so ironic that this is Candace Owens' perfect universe too, but she can never get that.
Oh shit! Oh my goodness!
I have
And
some
yeah,
predictions. I have two predictions.
all right, give them to me. Yeah, what you got?
One, I think that our vigilante is going to die and be killed by the Earth X vigilante, and then Earth X
I gotta
vigilante
tell you,
will end up
that was
back in our
I gotta tell
universe.
you, I thought the same exact thing.
Yeah, that's gonna
Yes.
Because
happen.
he's the one who would kill himself because he has such a strong code of justice that he wouldn't think twice about having to do it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think,
Yes, and he
and we're
would
gonna
take
have,
the other one's life and be friends with Peacemaker, and
but
like
it's
we
gonna be
might not
chilly
even
at
know.
first. He's gonna have to warm up to him, so like he's gonna secretly hate him.
Yes,
But then across season 3, which is my second prediction, there's going to be season 3. I just assume going into this season that I'm fine with getting a pretty good season of CV, and we can move on to other projects. But
Right.
now, after watching this, we have to have a season 3 of Peacemaker. I
So
need
there's been
a
some
season
news
3 of
on this,
Peacemaker.
right? Right, AC?
Oh
Didn't
yeah,
you Gunn say something?
I was actually when once he mentioned it, I was gonna say it. So Gunn said that. So with some of these characters, and you'll get an idea of it after by the time the finale comes out, is that so like we don't know if some characters will make it to Peacemaker 3, or there might be a situation where these characters go on to something else, um,
Hmm.
as opposed to a Peacemaker 3. There something that might be in the works, and I know there's some super secret project that James Gunn said that he hasn't told anybody about, nobody knows about, that he said he doesn't want anybody to be in on, because it said because if the idea gets out, he knows it's like it's an innovative idea that nobody has used to this point. So
mm.
he's kept that quiet. I'm gonna guess it has something to do with something like that.
Oh, I thought it
So
was microwaving a donut. Sorry.
I would like to see. I would like to see an Argus TV show that is The Office, but Argus. I think
Yup.
Tim Meadow
Ah,
could kill it. You know, like you
Yep.
already got
yeah.
the cast that could kill it, and that no
Yeah.
one's done that before. And I think that would be like a fun thing to do.
Poor
I mean,
Poor Langston in this episode. Rick Flag just kicked him out the office and called him
that
an idiot.
Tim
that
Meadows
bit.
had me cooking.
The way he's sitting his finger.
God damn, he's so good.
It's so
Oh.
stupid.
He was in there for
But
3 seconds and I was fucking dying, dude.
the
Oh,
mustache really
my
helps a lot too. Like it's just such a funny look.
Yes, it's such a great look. But Teach, before I go to Jake, you say you had 2 predictions. What was the second
Yeah,
one?
he gave
The
both of
second
them.
one was that there will be a season 3.
Season 3. Oh, okay, that's
We
the
have
yeah.
to. We have to
Yeah.
have it. I'm just mind blown by it. Like season 1 is so good. I have no thoughts about or knowledge about like the metrics of. Obviously, it was working to some extent because there's season 2. But
Right.
I really hope people are supporting this show.
Yeah, I think
Tell
this show is doing
friends,
really well.
We have to.
Yeah, this thing's cooking.
Because this is they're cooking on a very high level, and we've already matched the highs of season 1. Like I did not think that we would get to that level no matter what the season was, and I think that we're trending to be to land in a similar spot that we landed after season 1 in terms of quality. Man, I've just really been enjoying it.
Yeah. I think that the numbers that they gave out about Superman having the biggest premiere on HBO Max since Barbie, I think are encouraging, and I think that they are why that I'm probably going to put some chips down. Obviously, I don't want to put them down now because I have no idea what the environment is going to be at the time, but I would not be surprised if Superman, if Man of Tomorrow makes like a Billy, you know, because it feels like there's so much hype. The DC, it feels like the organic shit, the hype is building up for the DCU. So I feel like a lot of people are tuning into this season of Peacemaker who didn't watch the first
Hey
season.
man, if they get lanterns and Supergirl to pop, let me tell you, boy.
I'm optimistic about Supergirl. I'm very optimistic.
I think
about
Supergirl straight up might make more money than Superman since
Yeah.
there's so much hype for this universe now.
Yeah.
But no, I think that my big prediction, since honestly Rod went through every single element, and I don't say that begrudgingly, I have nothing else. But I think that in the last 5 minutes of the last episode, there's going to be some button where we see the universe that like the one weird guy who comes to the door to like
Oh,
we're gonna see
Alien
like
Man.
there's
Yeah.
gonna be like a one off joke about his universe, and it's gonna be really funny, and you're not gonna see it coming. It's gonna cut some tension, something bad's gonna happen, and then they're gonna see something weird in his universe, and you're gonna be like, you know what, James, I don't know why we thought that character was on that on the board if you weren't gonna do that, and so that's my
That's a great point. That's a great point. And yeah, I have a feeling that Flag I have a feeling that Flag in the final episode, when it's time to deal with the fight's probably going to end up being a little bit bigger than expected, and we'll probably see one of the bigger guns that we haven't seen yet in the DCU. Like, we'll get somebody, because James Gunn did allude that we are getting somebody huge coming through, like, and not just one person. So we got the Lex cameo, but I feel like there's more coming. So I'm looking forward to seeing whoever that might be, and I'm sure as they bridge it to Man of Tomorrow and see where that goes. And then most importantly, like, I just want to see what Chris's story, what does that look like at the end once he goes through it all. What does he learn from it? What comes of it for him? Obviously, I think Teej mentioned it before, and I think it was a great point. Like, yeah, that's a shitty situation to go through, regardless of how it ends. But at some point, he's gonna have to move forward, and I'm looking forward to seeing what John Cena has to show us in these big moments that are coming for his character at the end. So, hey, man, the show's great. Been excited to be talking about it every week. And we got 2 great episodes coming up, and excited to continue going on. I want to thank our guests for joining us this evening. First, Rod, my brother, where can we follow and find you, my man?
The Black Guy with Tips is where you can find my podcast everywhere you listen to podcasts. We also have a Patreon now. So if you're a Patreon listener, go on and hop over there. We're doing free week trials, so you can see what kind of stuff we talk about behind the paywall. And then on social media, I'm Rodimus Prime on Twitter, which is mostly where I hang out. So thank you for having me.
Yes, as always, much love, brother. And Teej, my good pal, thank you for joining us once again. Well, where can we tell the folks to find your wonderful and wholesome tweets? You are muted, sir.
Sorry, I just learned, and maybe y'all didn't learn this yet, that Tyreek Hill snapped his leg. So things are
Whoa.
Yeah, he did. I didn't want to report. I mean, there were a couple of things I thought about saying, like, for example, that the Jets fumbled the second half opening kickoff, and they just were going to stop the Dolphins on a long third down, but they got unnecessary roughness because Tua was sliding and they hit him. He was, as I put it on Twitter, he was 2 inches from never eating solid food again. I mean,
oh my god,
because that thing about Tua, and you're just like, anytime it's gonna happen, and we're not gonna feel good about it, but it's gonna happen. And on some level, it's like you could have retired.
yeah.
Probably should have. Things
Oh
aren't
my
going well for the
goodness.
Miami Dolphins. But yeah, you can find me. I'm also, I have another podcast. It's called the One Take Podcast. We talk about movies. Actually, we're recording our episode about one batter after another. I don't know if you're free right now, Jake, but after I'm done here, I'm going to do that. So very exciting
Unfortunately, I'm
times.
not.
Very
I have
exciting
to do
times.
my TikTok for the night, but I appreciate the invite a lot.
All right, we'll have you, and we'll have us and Rod. What I would love to have all or some of y'all at some point when we have some kind of synergy in terms
Holla
of
at me,
movies that
man.
are
I'm
out.
around.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. But
Just let me know. Let me know in advance, and I could tell the wife, hey, I need a little extra time this evening.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, and I will definitely handle it. Of course, absolutely. We'll love to be there for you, and thank you for making our show fun as always. And Jake, sir, where can we find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at the Jake Christie, on Blue Sky at Jake Christie, and as I alluded to, TikTok at Jake Christie. Doing about to record the one for I don't know if you guys are familiar with. It's actually related to a thing we had earlier where this white guy said, "I think I might actually be black," and someone responded, "Why is that?" And he said, "Just the way I act. I feel very natural and comfortable saying the N-word and stuff."
Jesus fucking Christ, man! Oh my god.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Twitter at AnthonyCanton_3. Follow the show on all platforms at MC University Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the Patreon. All those wonderful things. And yeah, man, we'll be rolling with Peacemaker. we'll also be working on some other things, and considering how, and Jake, you did a great job last week with the way handling the announcements at the top. So with things kind of playing out the way that they are, so it seems like we could probably get back a little bit, dip our toes back in a week or two, and do some Disney stuff.
I mean, based on the fact that shareholders are subpoenaing the company to determine why they're Jimmy Kimmel off the air, I don't think they're going to undo it because I think that they're going to get sued by their shareholders.
And zap their asses.
I don't know if you saw that 1.7 million cancellations.
Yeah.
That is significant.
Once again, I've said it a million times. You know who has buying power in this country is educated white ladies in the suburbs. They are the backbone of the consumer economy. If you piss them off, you lose.
yes, exactly. So with that being said, so like our plans will become a little bit more clear, so we can actually look forward to Wonder Man at the end of the year. So that's something nice to be able to talk about. And of course, like all we're doing with the Road to Doomsday stuff, as Doomsday just wrapped filming, so there is a lot of stuff going on there as people are wondering what's going on. And also New York Comic Con is in a couple of weeks, so we're going to hear about some Marvel TV stuff. So there's a lot in the hopper for us. So keep it locked for Peacemaker.
Can I say before we leave as well, like AC, man,
sure.
you do such a great job hosting this, man, passing that ball around. Like you really like come in here and Chris Paul this thing without.
We used to rotate, and then we realized AC was the best at it, and so
he's so good, man. It's always you do a great job, man. Like it's like you know naturally, like okay, so and so ain't talked in a second, I got him, So great job.
I think that the one thing I will say, and I appreciate that a lot, I really do. I think the one thing I will say is I realize I am the least. I am really literally the straight man. So like I am the least funniest person. So I know that I am with great people at all times. So I know, hey man, I can be unnaturally funny and awkward and stuff like that. But I let the people who know how to be funny, and that's how the sauce works. I just give y'all the information and we roll with it, and that's what makes Marvel Cinematic University what it is. But thank you, Rod. That warms my heart. It certainly does. And with that being said, so to next week in Peacemaker, we're looking forward to it. For Rod and Teej and Jake, I'm Anthony Canton III. This has been Marvel Cinematic, aka DC University, and we'll talk to you next time.